The Museo de Málaga, or Malaga Museum, is right in the very heart of Malaga. It's just within a few hundred metres of the cathedral. It has the Alcazaba in the hill behind it, and it's close to what's called the Paseo del Parque, which is a really beautiful area with all sorts of trees between that built up area and the quayside. It's a lovely place to go and sit in the shade and watch the parrots. But this museum is really good museum. And one of the great things about it is that it opens all day. So on a hot afternoon, it's a really good place to go to after lunch while all the other places are closed. It's built in an old palace, and what you can see in this image is the central courtyard. It's a really lovely building, but I'm very embarrassed to say I didn't even realise it existed until last year, and I've known Malaga really well for over 20 years, so that's quite embarrassing. But I have been there twice since then. So the first area that you go to, and there are two sides to visit on the ground floor, and there's this area which I really love. It has such a lovely atmosphere. It's quite unusual. It's not like a museum where there's lots and lots of information and things to read. This is like a very well organised storeroom. When you go in, there's all sorts of things there. As you can see, a collection of feet and some heads and some pots, and there are chairs, and for all different eras. Really interesting collection of items, and you do have this sort of feeling of having accidentally walked into the storeroom of a museum. One of the things that they have in there was something that I completely didn't understand the first time. I had no idea what it was, and I ignored it. And it was only the second time that I realised what it was, because the building, when it was refurbished not that long ago, they reconstructed the roof, and they've used zinc tile, so they're all very carefully designed. On the first floor, there are some models of the plans and the designs, and in this lovely storeroom area, there's an example of one of the tiles, and when you look at it, it has got a view of Malaga impressed into the tile itself. So that's really easy to miss that, as I did the first time. I only really noticed it the second time I was there. Then on the second side, there is a temporary exhibition. Now, this was something that I came across in the current temporary exhibition 2024. One of the things that was in there was this quite intriguing. There's this painting here. It's a self-portrait on the left-hand side, and the artist painted this in Malaga, and it says on the label female portrait. And I was very confused by this, and I kept looking at this portrait, which I thought was rather nice, but it was only later, as I walked around there looking at the other paintings, that I spotted actually on the back of the canvas is this painting, this female portrait. And what you can see in the bottom right hand corner, a dreadful photograph, I admit, but it is a painting by the same artist that was done in Monterrey, Mexico in 1964. Very heavily made up woman. It doesn't give any name with her, it's just a female portrait, female head. So that was quite interesting, but they have some very good temporary exhibitions. So last year, 2023, there was an exhibition of photography, and these are some of the photographs by Martin Parr taken all along this area of the coast, Torremolinos, in Malaga itself, and they really, anybody who's been there will recognise these things. They're very nice bit of photography that they had last year. So then you go up the stairs, and I have to say that when I first walked up these stairs, I was reminded of the streets in Croatia where they told us they were called Decomanus because they were built by the Romans and they were 10 men wide. The stairs, I am sure, are easily 10 men wide. Very impressive staircase going up to the first floor. And there's some very exciting stuff. There is a Jose de Rivera here. Look at this, what a lovely composition. And then you read the label, Martyrdom of St. Bartholomew, who it turns out is sometimes also Nathaniel, one of the apostles. And I had no idea until I read up on it that actually, although this is a very lovely composition, this is a very brutal story. St. Bartholomew was killed in the year 68, apparently in Armenia, because he converted the king at the time. Now, Armenia, I've been to, beautiful place, and it's one of the earliest countries that was a Christian country, and there's some very old first century Christian buildings there and monasteries. But this Jose de Ferreira was painting at the same time as Caravaggio. This was painted 20 years later, but apparently poor St. Bartholomew was skinned alive amongst various other things, hence the knife. Let's move on to something, well, no, maybe not. There's also, but this is important. It does reflect, there's lots of reflections of all the different cultural aspects of Malaga within this museum in lots of different ways and in quite sometimes a little bit jumbled up, but you've got this which is very important aspect of Malaga. You can actually go to the Plaza de Toros, it is quite close to this museum, and so this is reflected in some of the paintings that you will see in the museum here. And this lovely one for I think about 1905. I can't quite see the label. I've tried to include the actual labels here for you to see. But beautiful chrysanthemums and gladioli there. And it was painted in Malaga, and I am a little bit surprised that it says that these are Valencian women selling. Maybe they were brought to the flower market. There was a flower market in the Alameda, which is not very far away, a lovely wide street with trees, and there used to be a flower market there. There's not very much evidence of it now, but I wonder if they came from Valencia. And then one of the other things that really reflects this area, these lovely, lovely seascapes. Now, one of the things in this museum is there are benches, so you can sit down to admire these pictures. And if you suffer from seasickness, then that's a great time to sit down when you're looking at these, because these are really impressive range of seascapes they've got. There's just two here, one of Malaga Quayside, one during a storm. And if you've ever been here and seen the sea in the winter or when there's a storm, the colours here do very closely reflect what the sea looks like. I can see the sea every time I drove home from work every day, and it's really amazing to see the variety of colours within it. But it does feel very authentic and have that real feel of the sea. But there's a real mixture, so really nice pictures there. Now, there are two pictures here that I find really fascinating, and this is the first one. Two paintings were painted in the same year. Look at this very gentle, elegant young woman. You can see by her tiara that may be royalty. In fact, it is Anita Delgado, or Ana Delgado Briones. She was from Malaga. She met and married a Maharaja, and in fact she had to learn French in order to converse with him. He was a real Francophile. They spent quite a lot of time in Paris, and almost alongside this painting is another painting which was painted in the same year by a different artist. Both of these paintings were commissioned, and I have referred to this other painting in another video about the Carmen Thyssen exhibition in Estepona, because it's a picture that I think has a lot of similarities. Now look at this picture of the same woman. Now I was shocked by this painting the first time I saw it and I realised it was the same person. Now, if I was designing a costume, I do some costume design for shows. If I wanted to show a really conniving, clever, manipulative woman, I would probably use these waspy colours. The artist must have done this painting purely for money. I really don't think he could have thought very highly of her, having married this Maharaja. It really has this really waspy feeling, like he doesn't like her. She doesn't look very nice at all. And the picture in the Carmen Thyssen exhibition in Estepona has a very similar pose. It's by Ignacio Zuluaga, and it was actually painted 4 years before this. But also the colours of the dress in that one are not yellow and black, but they're blue and black, and they make you think of the poison dart frogs. So they're really fascinating. These two paintings of to see the same person who was from Malaga, and then you can move on, and they've got some more contemporary art in there. Just two examples here. There's some really quite interesting things, and you will also see the models of the designs for the building's roof. And if you go up the fantastic Decamana stairs once more, you will get to some exhibitions of Roman artifacts and some other artifacts, but they are quite impressive inside. Like the staircase, this is a very large pot with beautiful design on it and this amazing foot. It's huge. I just love these things when they've only got the foot left, but it's so impressive because of the size. A beautiful foot. If only I had feet like that. So, the Museum of Malaga, really worth a visit, very reasonable to get in. If you are a resident, then it is free. Enjoy.